Drop, the official podcast of the 130th Airlift Wing. I'm Second Lieutenant Sammy Brown from your West Virginia Air National Guard Public Affairs Office. Each year, the 130th Airlift Wing recognizes its most outstanding members in 4 categories. 2022 marks the 3rd year the Outstanding Airman of the Year program has operated under the wing instruction that focuses on recognizing members' achievement over the function of the nomination process. Joining me today is Command Chief Master Sgt. Kevan Williams, author of the wing instruction. Welcome to the pod, Chief.
It's a pleasure to be here. How are you?
Yes, I'm good, sir. So tell us about the program, please. Okay.
So I'm going to be a little bit redundant and say some of the things that I've said in years past, but really at its core, it is the program. And so when we looked at the program a few years ago, decided that there just wasn't a lot of nominations. It was very cumbersome. It's a lot of requirements. Think about a typical UTA weekend and all the training requirements and the mission requirements and all the expectations that already exist. And then to ask a supervisor or a commander to develop tongue and quill bullets that are on point, and bios and photographs and everything else you can think of that belongs in one of those packages, just was not a reasonable request. And so I like to say, A, you don't get a lot of nominations, and 2, the ones you get may not be your best. And those are my jokes, so you have to laugh. The ones you get may not be your best airmen.
Right.
So they just needed to be simplified. And so what we said was, hey, just get a 1206 out and give us a narrative, write a paragraph or 2 about what this airman has done this quarter that is exceptional and why you appreciate them. And then from there, they group SELs and myself, and we invite some guests to keep the panel more diverse. We just deliberate over those, and we read every one of them, and we have a discussion. And the discussion normally starts with, okay, I know which one I like, change my mind. And from there, we vote, and the most votes wins. And this year, we nominated over 50 airmen. And conservative numbers, we've recognized at least half of those, either at the wing or at the group level. And I'm really proud of that. We've been consistently between 50 and 60 every year.
Yeah.
For about 3 years now. So we're recognizing our airmen, and I feel like we're really pushing our strongest airmen to the front. Last year, we won the Region 2 in the senior NCO category, which I think was a first.
Oh, that's incredible.
So I'm really proud of the program, not necessarily because it's anything I've done, but it's just because we have exceptional people here.
Yeah.
And leaders are now, we just simplified it and made it provided a good, clean path to get them put up on the pedestal where they belong.
What do you think that's done for morale for the wing here?
I hope that it has improved it. I hope that it has encouraged folks to aspire to be here, aspire to stay here.
Yeah.
And do a career here. It's been a great career for me. And the more people that do, I think the more people that'll have a big smile on their face like I do right now.
Yeah. It's not just because he's on the pod, ladies and gentlemen. So with today's episode and kind of like the different guests that we're going to have on today, what are the different categories that we're going to be working through? What are the different folks that we're going to be recognizing?
Yeah. So we go through, we have the Airman category, which is, E1 up through E4. And then we have the NCO category. That's your E5s and E6s. Then there's the senior NCO category, 7s, 8s, and 9s. And then there's the first sergeant category.
And like you said, these are cream of the crop, the best of the best.
Yes.
And what are you looking for?
It's a great question. So with each category comes different expectations, right? So you expect an airman at the earliest levels of the career, they're all about training and all about developing their skill set in their AFSCs, right? So anytime you see language in a 1206 that says they completed their training early, which you'll see some of that, coming up this year. They completed their training early, or even they've gotten to a place where we trust them to do their job with less and less oversight.
Okay.
Okay, so now they're behaving like an NCO.
Yeah, they're ambitious. Right? Okay.
Or hey, we've actually trusted this person to lead or even be the face of our organization. When you see things like that out of an airman,
okay,
E4 and below,
yeah,
that's special.
Okay, all right, yeah. I see you, Chief. Okay. And
then it just like incrementally, so you you look at an NCO, and NCOs are expected to be subject matter experts. But yeah, they know their job, but they're not waiting necessarily on the senior NCO to tell them what they need to do. They already recognize it. They're already doing it, and they're doing it really well. And they're executing. They're making strong recommendations that maybe a senior NCO might make. Mm-hmm. So it's typically folks that are working above and beyond what you would expect.
Okay. So every time it's a cut above their category. What makes them exceptional?
Or an exceptional amount of maybe community service or things that they do outside the organization. What else have I seen? Or sometimes just an exceptional one-time event, save someone's life. You can throw different variables in there. I remember last year, Region 2, and Master Sgt. Keith McGraw from Security Forces was our Region 2 winner, and he had been to Afghanistan for Allies Refuge, and we started reading his accomplishments, some of the things he'd done at a austere environment with just a lot of difficult challenges and things in his in his face that he had to deal with on the fly. We talk about ACE,
Yeah.
He was really had a lot of things going on. And at one point, as the chiefs and I deliberated and we were passing those nominations around, I looked at the Chief Dougherty, the group senior enlisted leader for maintenance, and he stands up behind his chair and like comes to attention and salutes. And he was trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But I was like, what are you doing? And he goes, you wait till you read it. You'll see. And sure enough, we read it, and they're like, man, this one's special.
Right.
This one is special. And we knew it. We knew it right away.
Wow. Okay. So switching gears just a little bit, in your own career, what were some of your own formative moments? What were some exceptional moments for you?
Man, you put me on the spot.
I did. So if you're going to pull that out for other folks, like what kind of like qualifies you to pull that out?
So what I've always gone to when it comes to my career, when folks ask me about my career, I'm like, I didn't have any plan. I was never Outstanding Airman of the Year, by the way, ever. Not that I wanted to be, but it just all starts with humility. It all starts with the willingness to serve. It all starts with being the one who's willing to take out the trash, right. Being the one who's willing to get the mop out, and establishing credibility with your peers. Mm-hmm. And when you've established that credibility with your peers, and then you find yourself in places where maybe this is a weak area for me, but there's plenty of help.
Right.
There's plenty of help. And we're just more successful as a team than I am by myself.
Right.
So me, those are the kind of things I look at beyond like one person's superior performance. Like, how well do they integrate into the team? How well do they build teams? Mm-hmm. Do they have the emotional intelligence to foster healthy professional relationships and ensure that everyone is included?
Yeah.
Those things are important, and they're exceptional.
They are, sir. Yeah, they're incredible. So then when you're a part of these types of panels and you're looking for these incredible individuals, these extraordinary individuals, and really what you're saying when they win these awards is these are your next great leaders.
I'm saying they have the strong potential to be. Time will tell.
Yeah.
And really, where are they in their career? Maybe if they're a senior NCO, they already are great leaders. If they're an E3, they have the potential to be. Mm-hmm. right? Let's not get the cart in front of the horse.
Right.
But they are, I'll say it this way, they are growing nicely.
Oh, love that. They're growing nicely.
Yes.
All right. So I'm looking forward to meeting our Airman of the Year, sir.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Joining us on the pod is Chief Master Sgt. John Lowe, the Aircraft Maintenance Squadron Senior Enlisted Leader. Welcome to the drop, sir. Chief Lowe, can you introduce your Airman category winner and talk about why he was selected?
So, Senior Airman Hunter Leslie was the winner for the wing. He's always available. He does high-quality work. He works hard, and he remains focused on what's important. And just everything he does makes my job easier as a leader.
Yeah, he's the man, right? Like
He is.
Chief Lowe, when you're thinking about what you want on your team, right? Like who stands out to you, what you're looking for in a leader? What are you personally looking for?
Well, I look for somebody, one, that's going to be there, and one that when you ask for something to be done, there's no questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
If you walk in and you say you need something, he's first to volunteer for anything, whether it be for a tour, to go represent the wing in any event. We sent him down to the Enlisted Leader Symposium,
Mm-hmm.
and from there he was on a team, and they come up with a project that was put into an 802, and it left from that symposium, and hopefully it can help not just West Virginia, but the entire Air National Guard community.
Right. So you've got someone who, wants that stretch assignment, is reliable, right? Like is looking to be a part of not just this team, but something that's like bigger, better, badder, right? Like we're trying to make an impact regardless.
Exactly. And, he's traveled. For a senior airman to travel as much as he has is truly amazing. When he joined, it was perfect timing. We was getting into conversion.
Mm-hmm.
So he got to be, instead of coming in when you have everybody that knows the aircraft and you're the low man, he got to be where he come in and we all learn the aircraft together.
Yeah. So
with his drive and initiative, it's really blossomed his development over the last couple years.
Sure.
So with that, he's been able to take aircraft across the country and beyond, just because he's so dedicated to getting the task signed off. And not just that, he takes the younger airmen, the ones that come in way after him, he can take them and train them, which makes us more a viable unit.
I love that. I mean, so it's easy to get caught in a rut, frankly. Like it's easy for folks to like just really stick to what they know, and that's the end of it. Get in, get out. Like they do their contract and they're done with the Guard, or they're done with their military careers. But what you're saying is that our selectee here, they've decided that they're going to constantly learn, they're going to constantly evolve, and because of that, they're the best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he was so easy to, ride on the 1206.
Mm-hmm.
It was just amazing to have somebody that capable that had that much information that made it easy on all of us to put him in for this award.
Yeah. Awesome. Chief Williams, what do you got?
Earlier, you asked me if these winners were automatic future leaders.
Yes.
And I still like my answer I gave you, but I'd like to expand on it just a little.
Yeah.
Colonel Chard once gave me some feedback, and he said, I measure my chiefs by the success of their organization and the number of people they've developed along the way. So what you just heard is a chief who sees something exceptional in his airmen. While his airman is getting all the praise and all the credit, the leader is to my right,
Mm-hmm.
because John did a lot of work. He did a lot of work while I was on leave, and Hunter is exceptional, but except for a good leader who's willing to put the work in and see to it that he gets recognized, he's just another young man in OCPs.
Right.
And so I just wanted to John a public thank you and some props, and tell you what I know about Hunter Leslie. Hunter Leslie's a guy that they've trusted with multiple TDYs,
Yes.
multiple inspections, recognized for the highest GPA among 30 airmen at his tech school, considered to be the face of the maintenance squadron, conducted like 8 different tours, one of which happened to be U.S. Senator Shelley Moore Capito.
Yes.
So when I talked about airmen performing at high levels above and beyond their peers,
Yes, sir.
that's what's standing to your left.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were just discussing this, Chief, because you very much outlined that you wanted airmen that were ready to step up. They were ready to, guide and lead, and they were ready to mentor the folks that were coming in after them. But in order to do that, they're going to need folks that are going to mentor them, invest in them. So, Chief Lowe, that's huge. That's a testament to you and your mentorship.
Absolutely.
In order to have someone that is an airman that could step up and guide a congressional visit, that could be a part of TDYs, that was stepping up and had, a top GPAs. So top performers come from top mentors. So congratulations to you both, sir.
Appreciate that. Thank you much.
Mm-hmm. All right. So without further ado, Airman Leslie.
I want to say I'm very thankful and grateful to be in this position, and I couldn't do it without the people that set me up for success, whether it would be my first trainers or whether it be my flight line supervisors and Chief Lowe here. They've all put in the work and put in the time and invested in me and saw something in me. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here where I'm at today. And I just want to say thank you for all those ones that put in that extra time and extra work to actually see something in me. And I want to do the same thing to the younger airmen that are coming up in the unit.
Awesome. So talk to me a little bit about your career trajectory there, Airman.
My trajectory. So you're talking about like what forecasting in the future, what up? So as of right now, I'm a technician, full-time technician on base, and it's been awesome. It's been a great career. Ever since I've been up here, I've basically been on orders or been a temp tech and then became full-time technician. So that's been awesome. I've been super thankful and super grateful for all the benefits it's given me and for the opportunities I've been able to travel and go and see all kinds of different places. So that's been great. What I would like to do in the future is to, at some point, become an ACC on an aircraft. So, be the second guy in command, and then eventually move into a DCC slot and, move up in the ranks and just keep moving up towards bigger and better, and then hopefully maybe be sitting in Chief Lowe's spot one day. But I try to set my goals pretty high, and whenever I achieve them, that's a great feeling that you just like can't overcome, and you just want to just keep hitting more and more goals. So that's what I try to do, even like setting just small goals in my career. And then once I hit those, then whether it might be just getting a task signed off in my training, and then moving up and getting that next one, just those small goals keep you going. But then you hit those monumental goals, and you feel a lot better about yourself and how you're progressing so far. Like when I got senior airman, like that was a big step for me.
Right.
And now the next step is staff, which hopefully will be here in the next few months. So as I progress, at some point I want to become AGR, hopefully within the future, and, keep having a great career up here and just learning the airplane and becoming a supervisor and learn to train people. I think the biggest thing is that I've seen is just a lack of training sometimes amongst people. Like some of the younger kids, like they kind of just get distracted, and sometimes it gets kind of hard with just having them up there and drill weekends and stuff. I try to invest into them because, and I want to know more about that person. A lot of times I think we get stuck up on like what actually getting just their task done and getting this requirement and this requirement done, but are we ever asking them like how they are as a person and how they are on the outside? What do they like to do on the outside?
Yeah.
If you know the person on the outside and you know what they like to do and you know what makes them drive, then they'll be more focusing on to you on what you're teaching them.
Yeah.
If you know who they are and actually what they want to do.
Yeah, no, that's actually
incredibly intuitive as far as how you can lead, and knowing how folks can learn what really makes them tick and what really brings them here. Ladies and gentlemen, Airman of the Year.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Joining us on the pod now is Chief Master Sergeant Steve Carver, the 130th Mission Support Group Senior Enlisted Leader. How are you today, Chief?
I am great. How are you today?
I'm good. Sir, can you introduce us to our NCO category winner?
I will introduce you to Tech Sergeant Glenn R. Willard. He is the Superintendent for Emergency Management of the Civil Engineering Squadron at the 130th Airlift Wing.
Awesome. And talk to us about why he was selected, sir.
As just an outstanding performer, he actually deployed from the 130th Airlift Wing Civil Engineering. He deployed 40 personnel from into five separate countries with zero discrepancies this past AEF cycle.
Mm-hmm. Right. So with Tech Sergeant Willard, what really set him apart from some of the other nominees, sir?
Actually, as the emergency management superintendent for their shop, he actually, in addition to all of his other additional duties, he is their unit health monitor. He's their unit deployment manager. He manages all of their deployment cycle as far as to input all of their data into the system for Senior Master Sergeant Redmond. So he handles all of civil engineering's deployment-related issues. Mm-hmm. And he was able to deploy all of those folks in addition to being selected to support the 130th Engineering Squadron in the Region 3 Prime Beef Conference. In addition to Sergeant Willard managed and oversaw 10 airmen pass their 3-level courses this year. He currently monitors 20 airmen in their 5-level and 7-level upgrade training. So he has a wealth of things on his plate that he handles throughout the week as a full-time and as a traditional guardsman.
Yeah, that's amazing. It sounds to me just like kind of the commonalities that you were pulling out in describing him, that he is a mentor. He's a teacher on top of all of this.
He is.
So when you're looking at someone that is mentoring up-and-coming airmen, what are you looking for? What are you looking for as like a key characteristic in an amazing mentor?
Well, not only is he an excellent performer himself, but he brings these people to the level to where they want to perform at that level. Mm-hmm. They want to excel. They want to do all that they can do within the Civil Engineering Squadron.
That's incredible. Chief Williams.
Yeah, so what I believe about Glenn Willard is two things: very professional, mm-hmm. and an excellent communicator.
Right. And
that's a great recipe for an emergency management flight in COIC. Mm-hmm. And he's a good developer. So one of the things that Chief did not allude to is that his strategy for training and developing operations within EM was recognized nationally at the NGB.
Right.
And so kudos to that, and good for you. But I spent some time Sergeant Willard. I was in CE for about a year. We crossed paths occasionally in the plans office, and that professionalism and that ability to communicate. And you're right, he is a teacher, mm-hmm. and it's contagious.
Yeah.
And so you can watch that whole flight interact. If you go to like Seaburn training in different places, and in that training, you can watch how each member of his team takes ownership of their part of the lesson plan, and they teach it with their whole heart. And you can see that's a reflection of him, mm-hmm. which is a whole lot like what I had said earlier. You know, right? We measure NCOs and senior NCOs by the success of their organization and how many people they develop along the way.
Right.
And you see that in Sergeant Willard. He's got a very, very high ceiling. Congratulations, sir.
Yes. I love this theme. I love the theme because so far in the show, we've really talked about how we're looking to elevate performance all across the board and kind of the level that we're looking for here in the wing and as an organization, how we want to really rise to a different level as far as performance all across the board
And we've really seen that in a lot of the conversations that we've had so far today. But that really just set the stage for our NCO winner. So let's get right into it.
So again, I think about as the UDM, and even he took on training manager duties.
Yeah.
And so what you see, if he gets his hands on it and he applies his energy to it, it doesn't take a lot of time. And you go, man, that Tech Sergeant Glenn Willard, he's credible. And so once you've established yourself as credible, your peers recognize you as credible, you're in a great position to lead. And I do, you just see that. I see that in Glenn.
Yeah,
often.
that competency
Yes.
that we're looking for, that trustworthiness.
Right.
I love that. All right, Tech Sergeant, that's high praise from two really well respected individuals. So, congratulations, sir. But without further ado, we'd love to hear from you on this pretty prestigious award.
Yeah, of course. Just want to say thanks, Chief Carver. Thanks, Chief Williams. It really is a great honor. We've worked hard in CE, and I can't take all of the credit, but I've got some great mentors above me and some great airmen under me as well. It is an honor to be recognized, but I couldn't have done it without all my mentors and all of my peers supporting me in that and working with me. With many of my additional duties, without people actually being willing to work with me and support me in that, there's no way I could get the accomplishments done that we have this past year.
What's next for you?
Oh, what's next? We've got a really busy year. So we're going into our exercise year. Emergency management plays a really large role in the exercises from the CBURN perspective, and just assisting with planning. We have several initiatives coming up on the emergency management side, on the prime beef side, which is one of my primary responsibilities as well as the prime beef manager. Two different exercises on top of that. So it's just a busy year right now. We're looking at just planning out the year and making sure that we have an actual plan to accomplish these goals, and making sure that we're sticking to that plan without just going into it guns blazing and trying to just get as much as we can done. We're still playing a little bit of catch up from the precautionary COVID-19 years. There's no way really around that but to move forward. So that's really our biggest goal right there, is to catch up from 3 years of doing some of the minimum essential requirements that we could at the time.
Right. So Sergeant Willard, congratulations.
Thank you.
Ready for anything.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. Joining us on the pod now is Senior Master Sergeant Barry Thomas, the 130th Staff Senior Enlisted Leader. Senior Thomas, can you introduce your Senior NCO category winner and talk about why he was selected?
Yes, ma'am. This is Senior Master Sergeant Eugene Christ. He did a lot for the wing and his community throughout 2022. We've all seen the great content the Public Affairs Office creates for social media. They produce videos, podcasts, and take lots of still images. The unit began an airframe conversion in 2021, and Senior Christ has been involved in highlighting the wing throughout the process. He's written several news stories. I just saw one last month where he highlighted all the female aviators in the wing and the wing's first all-female aircrew. He designed the new C-130J tail flash that you see on the aircraft today, coordinated the acceptance of the 500th C-130J model produced for Lockheed Martin, and also created a challenge coin for Lockheed Martin to award exceptional performers throughout the conversion process, leading the way with innovative ideas to promote the unit with recruiting efforts for both the wings and the state. He incorporated the use of NFC business cards to enable members to connect prospective recruits within the recruiting team. He created a marketing campaign for both wings that were featured in the WVU athletics program. He designed an ad to recruit flight nurses, coordinated with Civil Engineering Squadron to develop a mentorship program aimed at increasing awareness on wing opportunities for engineering students. And he also gives back to his community a lot. He created and donated a logo to the Nitro Robotics and Engineering team, dedicates his personal time volunteering at the West Virginia School for the Deaf and Blind, and honoring his father's heritage. Every Thanksgiving, he works countless hours to provide meals to less fortunate people.
Shazam.
Shazam. I'm
not biased, like at all.
And he won the chili cook-off.
And he won the chili cook-off. Is that all you're going to add, Chief Williams?
No, it's not.
Hit me with some more, sir.
I'm going to hit you. Often, I'm going to back up a little bit, but often we have conversations that where we talk about effective developmental feedback, and we talk about the need for accountability and the need to shoot people straight. And I think sometimes we fail to consider just a simple act of encouragement. And when I think about the word encourage, I like to, my personal definition of the word encourage, I don't know what Merriam-Webster says, but my personal definition of encourage is to give someone courage. And I've watched Senior Master Sergeant Chris like have his tough times, and I've watched him grow and begin to change. And over the last year, holy cow, look what happens when someone's encouraged. And there's some, Major Sherrod, Captain Dyer, Colonel Priest, Colonel Chard, and a lot of people have invested in him because he has so much talent, so much ability. And my friend, it's just an honor to watch you thrive. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief.
Oh, man. I got to tell you, Senior Christ, I am not biased in this interview whatsoever. This is completely objective.
This is the first time I've met the lieutenant.
I have not ever met this man before in my life. We are complete and perfect strangers. But it is very much an honor to be a part of this interview, particularly as another public affairs professional. And it's exciting to see someone else be a part of this field and be lifted up in this manner. So to hear this type of praise from Senior Enlisted and a Chief, and then also to know that you've come so far in just a year's time because someone believed in you.
No, I'm very lucky. Colonel Priest, Colonel Chard, Chief Williams, Major Sherrod, I'm surrounded by people who believe in me, and I know it. And that's the only reason I'm here. I texted my therapist the day that it was announced that I had won the award, and I thanked her because I would not be here without her, and I would not be here without Chief Williams. People that were looking out for me because I was not looking out for myself. That's a fact.
What I find most striking about your story in general is that there's a lot of resilience in your career path in general. There's a lot of reinvention, and throughout all of it, like there's constant pivots. There's like, you've overcome a lot of hurdles. And then in the time that I've known you personally, you have kind of just been hell-bent, for lack of a better word, to see this through to the bitter end, and it paid off, right? It paid off to really be acknowledged as a leader in this organization. So that really brings me to the question of, what does it mean to lead in this organization to you?
It's interesting. When Chief Williams approached me originally about being the senior enlisted leader for wing staff, I was very apprehensive. Sometimes I'm not the best people person, and I fully acknowledge that in myself. My nickname is Senior Grumps, and I have that for a reason. But what I will say is I love this organization, and I love the people in wing staff, and it may not come across as love sometimes, but I do. I love people, and I want to see people succeed, and I want to be part of people's success. And when Chief Williams asked me to be the SEL, the only thing I can think to do is just try to make it better for people. So the traditional guardsmen that show up on the weekends make their life a little bit better, and however I can do that
and whatever I hear as far as issues that I can try to solve, that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I did, and that's what I try to do every day.
When you're a senior enlisted leader, part of that responsibility is sharing institutional knowledge, right? And making sure that the people above, below, and beside you know everything there is to know about being the best airman they can. How do you share that knowledge?
The one thing that I will say is caring for people and asking people to care for other people. That's the one thing. I feel like that is the one note in my life. My father was an Episcopal minister, and his entire life he talked about being the hands and feet for Christ. We can talk about helping people, or we can get our hands dirty and we can help people. And I may not be the most proficient on X, Y, or Z, but I'm going to get my hands dirty and I'm going to try to make it better for you, better for me, and better for all of us. And I hope that people see that in me, and I hope that I can show that to others.
It's interesting, Chief, because throughout these conversations, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I absolutely have. There has been a progression of that emotional intelligence that you spoke to from the very beginning. Like, there has been a scale of that empathy, like from the very beginning, that very first conversation that we had, and every single airman that has come through right down to this last conversation, there's been like such a depth in each conversation. And it seems like throughout their careers, it like grows. And right down to your senior enlisted, it's like the depth of it is just so profound. Like,
from General Brown, Chief Bass, General Lowe, Chief Maurice Williams, and all the way down through the chain of command, they've instructed us, look for your leaders, measuring them against the airman leadership qualities. So these things that you're witnessing we didn't invent them. Mm-mm. They were just there. And we have some really fine folks who possess a lot of them.
Yeah.
That's it. But it's we natural. Are truly blessed.
Yeah. It's a natural characteristic. That's not something you develop, right? Like those are intrinsic characteristics. All right, joining us on the pod is Chief Master Sergeant Eric Condon from the 130th Medical Group, Senior Enlisted Leader. Chief Condon, can you introduce our first Sergeant category winner and talk about why she was selected?
Thank you. Yes. It's my pleasure to. Master Sergeant Karen Cummings is our first sergeant in the medical group, and we were really pleased to find out that she was selected as the first sergeant of the year for the wing. And I would say first and foremost, my experience with her has been that she truly has the pulse of the unit. She represents the enlisted force and their concerns. As it's probably her top priority. Rarely do I ever see her when there's not another member of the unit talking to her. She's just the type of person that is open and quick to advise our members, whether it's professionally or personally. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's one of her best qualities.
Absolutely.
She's also highly organized. She comes in Friday before drill and spends late into the evening, usually on Fridays, getting ready for drill. And so she's very much prepared. And as a member of the triad with her, I appreciate that very much. And she really kind of drives us through drill from that point through Sunday.
Yeah. Chief?
I would say when I think about the Master Sergeant Karen Cummings, as I like to call her, I'm taken back to when she actually interviewed for the position. And I wasn't the command chief then, but it was understood that I was going to be the next command chief. And I was given the opportunity to sit on the hiring board. And I still remember what she said that day. She said, let's let's talk about the elephant in the room right now. You say that folks shouldn't serve as first sergeants in their own squadrons, but I applied to be in medical because there's culture change happening there, and I've been a part of it, and I believe I'm in the prime spot to be a part of it going forward. And she really wowed everyone on the panel and became the medical group first sergeant. And so from that moment on, I've been waiting for today.
Yes.
Because she has a high level of emotional intelligence. People trust her. She, as Chief said, she's very organized. She's put on, I can't think of the number, but numerous award ceremonies, change of commands, sometimes for some members that are kind of hard to round up, if you know what I'm saying,
right.
Like herding cats. And she always knocks it out of the park. She's always preparing, asking questions, because she cares.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, when people care, like, you got my heart.
Absolutely.
Good job. Good job, Karen.
And with introductions like that, what else can you do but take it to the winner themselves, right? So, First Sergeant, what comments do you have, ma'am?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm really honored to be the First Sergeant of the Year, but I'm also really surprised especially when I first found out about it, because we have some amazing First Sergeants at the 130th who work so hard all the time, every day, to make sure that the airmen in their units are able to complete the mission effectively. And really, I feel like everybody does the same job that I do, and every First Sergeant in our wing deserves to be First Sergeant of the Year because they all work so hard. But I do very much appreciate all of your comments, and I'm very honored to receive the award.
What's next for you? Now that you've reached the top, right? Now that you have won this award and you're the category winner, what's next for you?
Well, I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing. That's oddly enough, I really never thought about being a first sergeant until I became one. And it's honestly the best job I've ever had in the Air Force. And I love what I do, and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and keep taking care of people and keep going.
I love that. And so when I think about great leaders, and one of the comments that both chiefs had said is that you have led with emotional intelligence. If you were mentoring other leaders and folks to succeed you, what would you say? What would be the advice that you would give to the person that would come after you?
Well, I am a firm believer that everything we do is really about relationships. And that is the number one thing you can do when you're trying to mentor and lead people. You have to have a good relationship with your people. So the number one thing you should focus on is building relationships and getting to know your people, understanding them, understanding what they're passionate about, what drives them. That way you have a better understanding of how to lead and how to mentor.
Absolutely.
If I may.
Yes, Chief.
I mean, it really points to one of the things that we failed to allude to, and that is the people really trust her. We're talking about 100+ people who trust her with anything, and they go to her in their darkest days.
Right.
And those really, you couldn't ask more from a first sergeant than to have the trust of all the airmen, under them. And Karen absolutely brings that amount of compassion and empathy that's necessary. She's incredible.
Yeah. No, I think that's something that a lot of us really look for within our ranks and just leadership in general. I congratulate you. This is ultimately a great accomplishment, and it says a lot that these, both of these men have said that you are just a great leader and a trustworthy individual. So Thank you so much for being with us today. And again, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And that's going to do it for this episode of The Drop. For more information about the 130th Airlift Wing, visit us on the web at www.130aw.ang.af.mil, as well as on all major social media platforms. Additionally, you can find us in the skies delivering freedom with courage. This is Second Lieutenant Sammy Brown reminding you to stay ready to go. Rumps, drop my beat.